Good afternoon, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us today for this summit organized by Huawei and with the partnership of the UNESCO IITE under the title of Igniting Innovation Through Education. So today we have been all affected by the COVID-19 crisis and the pandemic, and we have seen how much the society have been changed and our education system has been affected. So it is our responsibility to contribute to the development of tomorrow's ICT leaders by empowering individuals with the ambition of ICT domain. So today's summit is organized mainly to discuss how we can ignite innovation through the education. So this summit recognized the essential role of education as any catalyst for change in the future by bringing people closer and making our society more sustainable and prosperous. With the ICT solution now widely recognized as the building blocks of the intelligent society, supporting innovation and imagination through education, it's also increasingly important to all national development agendas across the Middle East. So today's meeting is hosted in partnership with the UNESCO's Institute of Information Technologies in Education, and with lots of experts from government and international NGOs, also esteemed universities from the region. So we want to share today in the summit the perspective on the talent requirement for tomorrow, how the new educational system model should shape up for the future, and the methods for deepening the public-private partnership in the field of ICT education. So allow me to introduce the agenda of today, and then we will start our meeting. So first, we will have the opening speech by Mr. Hu Tao, the Global Vice President of Huawei, followed by Dr. Zhang Tao, the Director of UNESCO IITE. Then we will have 6 keynotes. The first one by His Excellency Minister of Education from Pakistan, Mr. Shafkat Mahmood, followed by the Secretary General of AICTO of the Arab League, Engineer Muhammad bin Ammar, and followed by Mr. Jawad Abbasi, the head of MENA of GSMA, then Deputy Chairman of Communication and Media Commission of Iraq, CMC, Mr. Ahmad Walid Ahmad Al-Jamil, then Dr. Jassim Haji, the Chairman of the Artificial Intelligence Society of Bahrain, and followed by the CEO of Ankabut from the UAE, Dr. Fahim Al-Nuaimi. After these keynotes, we will open the first panel titled Talent, Challenges and Solutions. We will spend 30 minutes in this panel. Then we will have 2 more keynotes. The first one from the Vice Chancellor of United Arab Emirates University, Dr. Ghalib Ali Al-Hadrami Al-Buraiki, and then with the last keynote by Dr. Riyad Sakr, the Vice Chancellor of American University of Science and Technology of Lebanon. After that, we will have the second panel discussion under the topic of pushing the boundaries of knowledge acquisition. Another 30 minutes in this, and then we will have the closing keynote by Huawei's Middle East Vice President, Mr. Spacely. So now I leave the floor to Mr. Hu Tao, the Global Vice President of Huawei, for his opening speech.
Thank you. So dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. I'm honored and thrilled to welcome you today. Despite the pandemic keeping us apart, the modern technology ensures that grand event like today we have can be hosted online and brings us together. Nowadays, the digital future is widely recognized around the world. The storm of COVID-19 epidemic accelerates this trend. At the same time, we all recognize that the construction of the digital world requires innovative technology. Science and technology are the primary productive force, and talents, as a matter of fact, are the driving force behind it. Today, on this special occasion, I would like to speak about Huawei's philosophy and practices of talent cultivation. We strongly believe that talent cultivation requires involving multiple parties. We need to build an open, healthy, and sustainable ecosystem to train talent with partners from various fields, as talent cultivation is an arduous mission. Definitely, university is an indispensable part of it, and corporates can serve as good helpers. For instance, a paper on polar coats published in 2008 by a Turkish professor attracted Huawei's attention, and Huawei had a variety of researchers joining in that study. 10 years later, polar coats consist of an important part of 5G standards. In the process of 5G commercial application, tens of thousands of scientists, engineers, and students made great efforts to it, which also trained more professionals. By now, Huawei is working with more than 1,350 universities worldwide. We have invested more than $300 million into their research each year, and directly sponsor the research of more than 300 professors with no strings attached. We also work with multiple global training partners to provide training and certification services around the world. By the end of last year, there were more than 110 Huawei authorized learning partners worldwide. In Middle East, around 86 ICT Academy has been set up, and 24 of them are completed this year in 2020. From January to October of this year alone, 7,523 people got certified by Huawei. Huawei's openness to talent and partners stick to the spirit of Beidou Act of the US. We cooperate with the universities and partners by funding excellent scholars to only obtain the right to know and use their knowledge. We do not seek the intellectual property rights or the right of authorship of papers. We will grant them funding with no condition attached, as long as the direction of their previous research is basically consistent with ours. The innovative thoughts and discoveries of the natural science by our human beings are the beacon of our society. When we look back, we see that it is those people and their innovative mind that illuminate every major change in human history. We see the rise and smoke of the steam engines, the bright light of the electric lights, the beating bytes of the computer. And this time, along with all our partners, we are going to see everything connected. Lastly and importantly, we truly believe that talent cultivation couldn't have been moving forward without the support of UNESCO, governments, and related authorities. UNESCO advocates learning never stops, and most of the governments and authorities have been taking actions to encourage innovative talent development even before the pandemic, as its fundamental policy. With the continuous help of UNESCO, governments, and authorities, Huawei has been devoted to Tech for All, a long-term digital inclusion initiative promising to leave no one behind. The development of science and technology lies in the innovative ideas, and the innovative ideas are derived from cultivation. This year, Huawei Middle East Innovation Day, Igniting Innovation Through Education, is taking place. So I look forward to your inspiring participation in discussion and your creative ideas, your sharing with the innovation. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you, Mr. Hu Tao, for the enlightening on Huawei's high attention on the educational sector. And now I leave the floor to Dr. Zhang Tao, the Director of UNESCO IIT.
Thank you, Chair. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Chair? Okay, thank you. Yes. Your Excellencies, Vice Chancellors, distinguished experts, dear Dr. Hu Tao and Huawei colleagues, dear fellow friends, greetings from Moscow. Greetings from UNESCO Institute for Information Technologies in Education, IITE. I am very pleased to participate to participate in the Huawei Medalist Innovation Day with IITE as a collaboration partner of this event. First of all, let me congratulate Huawei colleagues for organizing this important event at the very difficult and challenging time as the second wave of COVID is hitting the most part of the world, including Middle East. This is a moment we need to stand firmly together, shoulder to shoulder and heart to heart, so that we could be much stronger. This is also the moment we need innovation so that we could have more effective response to the pandemic. Huawei is a very close collaboration partner with IITE, especially since COVID. We have been working together for Africa, for Middle East, and other regions as well. Huawei is also a close collaboration partner with UNESCO, the organization. It is an important member of UNESCO's Global Education Coalition. It's UNESCO's major action in response to the pandemic, aiming at mobilizing global partners and resources to support teachers, students, parents, and countries in need in a collective and innovative approach. Dear colleagues and friends, innovation is the spirit of our age, is the name of our time. When I'm asked to tell about the world today or tomorrow with just one word, I prefer to choose innovation. However, innovation is not something new to us. Innovation reminds us of the great names and great discoveries in human history, including in the history of Arabia. What makes innovation today different from that in human history? My understanding is that innovation today is innovation for everyone and by everyone, or engaging everyone. The fantastic digital technology makes this possible. Therefore, when we talk about innovation today, we must talk about how to engage everyone, particularly youth. In UNESCO's perspective and priority, when we talk about everyone, we always emphasize gender equity, we emphasize vulnerable groups, people with disabilities from rural and remote areas, ethnic minorities, and so on. They are equally gifted, they have the same potential or even bigger potential. However, they need special support. So including is the priority of innovation. What makes innovation today different as well comes from global collaboration. We are living in a globalized world with multicultural, multilinguistic, and multinational environment. Global collaboration could benefit not just the developing countries, but everyone for innovation. Therefore, I would propose that in addition to the regional innovation day like this one, Huawei could launch inter-regional innovation days such as Middle East and Africa Innovation Day so that young people from different regions could share experience and work together with each other. I'm very glad that IIT and Huawei Middle East are working together in the area of education with support from educators and policymakers in the region. I'm looking forward to more closely collaborations as ministries, experts from this region, because this is a region full of energy and power for innovation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Zhantao. Thank you for enlightening the perspective of UNESCO IITE and shedding the light on the high importance you put on the global collaboration. Thank you. Next, I want to welcome a message from His Excellency Minister of Education and Vocational Training of Pakistan, Mr. Shafqat Mahmood.
When the pandemic of coronavirus hit us, it was an experience that had never happened before. It was unprecedented. We had to close schools, universities, all in educational institutions. And this posed a serious challenge. How do we get to the children? How do we continue education without schools being there, without teachers personally attending to students? So it was time for innovation. And within 15 days, the government of Pakistan, Ministry of Education, acquired an exclusive TV channel and launched something called the Teleschool. In this Teleschool, for 10 hours a day, lessons from class 1 to class 12 in different modules were broadcast. Then there was a question of how do we get a feedback from students so that we can fine-tune what is being broadcast through this Teleschool. So an SMS system was established through the help of telecom companies. Therefore, students who wanted to give a feedback or wanted to ask a question or wanted to seek some clarification, they were able to approach us through SMS. So two innovative technologies started to help us. One, a Teleschool through a television channel, two, SMS system which would allow a feedback mechanism to operate. Then over the months we felt that this was not enough. There were areas in Pakistan where internet was not that available, where even a television channel was not there for the families. So therefore we decided to launch a radio school, and recently the Prime Minister of Pakistan has launched a radio school. For higher education, we started to use online content and online learning. There were limitations and are limitations in that. And one of the most important limitations is that internet facilities or stable internet facilities are not available everywhere. So the government of Pakistan is now planning to expand its internet network to ensure that almost every area in the country is covered. Secondly, our teachers were not that well trained in giving online lectures. But over a period of time, that is getting better too. Examinations are being conducted online, and recently we've asked students to let us know what are the main difficulties they have in online learning so that we can improve our performance. So all of these things are happening through innovative technologies. We are also now moving swiftly ahead to prepare new content for our television channel and new content for online learning. And for this, we are partnering with the educational technology companies who are quite well developed in Pakistan. And with their help, we hope to develop engaging content for children, which is also improves their learning. We've also launched a special program in Islamabad as an experiment of blended learning, where we are going to try different kinds of technologies, different types of platforms to see that in whatever different age groups, which technology and which platform is most effective. So this project is about to be launched also, besides a STEM learning project. So these are different ways in which we are innovating to face challenges of COVID. Lastly, we have established a department of distance learning in the ministry, because we feel that even when this pandemic goes away, there would still be a huge role for distance learning and innovation. Thank you very much.
Thank you to His Excellency Minister Shafkat Mahmood. Now I want to give the floor to Engineer Muhammad bin Ammour, the Secretary General of the Arab Information and Communication Technology Organization, AICTO.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremony. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends on where we are placed. So I will start my keynote speech. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, experts, speakers, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt wishes of good health and safety to everyone. I'm delighted to participate in this UNESCO and Huawei summit on igniting innovation through education, and to share with you our thoughts about the digital innovation in the Arab region, with a special focus on the education in the COVID-19 era and the key role played by the technology at this level. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start my work by presenting the Arab ICT organization. We call it ICTO, which is the leading agency of the League of Arab States specialized in ICT field. ICTO creation resulted from the will of the Arab states to contribute to the development of ICT sector in the region. ICTO is working within a 4D strategy based on 4 pillars, which are digital transformation, digital inclusion, digital trust, and digital innovation. Innovation is being known for a long time as the engine for the economic and social growth, as said by Johnny Bert Nilsson, the King's Institute of Technology. Innovation has become the ideology of the 21st century. Every year, the Global Innovation Index gives us an idea about who is leading innovation in the world. Based on Global Innovation Index of 2020, only one Arab country, which is United Arab Emirates, out of the 220 Arab states, is within the list of the top innovative or innovation economies. The report said innovation leaders have balanced innovation system. Others should strive for them. Therefore, the rest of the countries should find the way towards the complementarity across the different areas of their innovation system. Today, Arab countries seek the inclusion within the global digital economy, have to multiply efforts towards enhancing creativity and innovation in the digital areas, as ICTs are key enablers for innovation, and given that the digital innovation has become the main seed for the achieving the sustainable growth and prosperity worldwide. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are a few days away from concluding year 2020. The world is still struggling to cope with the negative impacts of the coronavirus outbreak. Education was one of the most disrupted sectors by the pandemic. Based on the UN study, the closures of schools have impacted 94% of the world's student population, and up to 99% are in low and lower middle income countries. During the lockdown, the big challenge was to find alternative learning opportunities. Many measures to continue learning during schools closures have been defined to use the online platforms, including educational content for exploring on-demand, real-time lessons on virtual meeting platforms, self-placed formalization, and etc., etc. Even though these measures helped to continue access to education, the digital divide has been emphasized between students from the privileged background and those from vulnerable areas besides. Many others challenges have been spotted in some Arab countries, like the gap between the implementation of online learning on the regional and international level, the lack of technological means and connectivity, the inequality of educational services and content provided, besides many other challenges that need urgent and transformational actions. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today we have to admit that the world after COVID-19 is unlikely to return to the world that was before. Albert Einstein said we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Therefore, innovative alternatives and solutions are highly required. We have to reshape the educational system based on 3 main pillars: education, technology, and innovation, to fit with the next normal requirements and challenges. This will not be an overnight transformation. It will be a journey worth taking by all stakeholders for the benefit of the next generations. Promoting innovation in education will be a milestone in this journey. ICTO is willing to participate in this journey by its project Connecting Schools for a Better Future, and we think that regional and interregional cooperation is essential in building and strengthening common innovation systems and models for the education of tomorrow. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathering today while the world is going through one of the most severe crises. We are here to look beyond that and build a solid basis for a better future for everyone through the ICTs. Today, no more than ever before, technology is one of the hopes for the recovery and for coping with the next normal. This summit marks an important step. For my part, I'm delighted to be part of it to enhance our cooperation for a stronger digital economy that will benefit all of us. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Engineer Ben Amour, for sharing the strategy of Arab Information Communication Technology Organization and the role in bridging the digital divide. So next, I want to invite Mr. Jawad Abbasi, the regional head of MENA from GSMA. Mr. Jawad, I think you need to share slides from your side.
Yes, thank you very much for organizing this. I would like to share some slides with the dear attendees. Just a second with me.
Sure.
Okay, can you see the slides? Thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Jawad Abbasi. I head the MENA region, the Middle East and North Africa region at the GSMA. The GSMA, as you may know, is the trade association that represents the interests of the mobile operators. We have amongst our members all 750 mobile operator groups, in addition to over 400 companies in the wider ecosystem. And of course, we organize the Mobile World Congress, the industry leading conventions in Barcelona, Shanghai, and Los Angeles. Next year, of course, 2020 was a tough year, but next year we are going with Shanghai in February, Barcelona in June, and Los Angeles in October. I would like to share with you a bit of an overview about our Mobile for Development. This is a program within the organization that works to reduce inequalities in the world. Mobile for Development has 10 different programs offering strong opportunities to see the areas where mobile technologies are having a critical impact on people's lives. We have projects in more than 45 countries, and we are actively working with mobile operators, innovators, NGOs, civil society to drive action and unearth new innovations. To date, we have impacted the lives of 774.2 million people. And of course, we've fully committed to the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, because the mobile technology underpins effectively all of the 17 SDGs. We've recently also, I'll share with you some of the insights and findings from our newly launched report called Education for All in the COVID-19 Times. You can download this report at the link, and I'm happy to share it with the Huawei team to distribute it. And it shows how EdTech can be part of a solution. The aim was to conduct research on the impact of COVID-19 on education, which unfortunately was already in crisis in the developing world. We kicked off the research at the beginning of the lockdown in May 2020, where school closure impacted learning worldwide. And by the end of the research, as schools started to reopen, unfortunately, some have closed again, we could see EdTech gradually moving from the main source of learning to becoming a learning complement, which may be the best and optimal situation for it these days. This slide is from the UNESCO that underlines and stresses the importance of schools, how schools help in eradicating illiteracy for children and their families, how they improve the nutrition, positive impact on parents' literacy, increase social responsibility of the youth, prepares parents and teachers for a smooth transition to EdTech, and offers opportunities and tackles social isolation. So what we've seen is that the COVID-19 has magnified an education crisis in the lower and middle income countries, whereby 258 million children and youth were already out of school. At the peak of the restrictions in April 2020, at the peak of the pandemic, where schools in 195 countries were shut, we had 1.6 billion students out of the classroom, which was a major blow. There are currently also, and for refugees, it's a bigger problem. There are currently 26 million refugees globally. Half of our refugees are children, and only 3 in 5 refugee children attend primary school, and just 23% of displaced young people have access to secondary education, and just 1 in 100 pursues a post-high school education. So school closures to the COVID-19 lockdowns have not only deprived students in refugee and conflict settings access to learning, but also what is often only opportunity for safety for them. So it was a really a major hardship. This is where we've seen the potential for EdTech in lower middle income countries, where viable business models are needed to support innovation in EdTech. So again, the emphasis is when schools have to close, what is the alternative? EdTech plays a major role in providing not necessarily an ideal alternative, but an alternative to the students. And for that to succeed, we need viable business models to support innovation in EdTech and ensure both equitable access and equitable impact. We need ICT support must be in place to optimize the distribution of EdTech, including proper internet access, EdTech hardware, telecommunications infrastructure, and basic electricity. We need to have a clear education policy and strategy that should be in place at the local government level and supported with durable legislation and equitable education financing. The government should also encourage innovation in EdTech by setting standards for academic achievements. And of course, we need to collaborate between education stakeholders is key, to include educators, governments, startups, NGO coalitions, and city councillors. How mobile can help in the online learning? It helps bridge gender gap. Mobile has played an instrumental role in improving educational opportunities for girls in lower and middle income countries by providing a gateway to essential life-enhancing information and knowledge. The mobile internet gender gap is closing. In developing markets, for example, 54% of women are currently mobile internet users, up from 44% back in 2017. Also, mobile helps improve digital literacy. Mobile operators are addressing the negative effects of low digital literacy on mobile internet adoption and online learning by investing in public education and digital skill initiatives. Thirdly and lastly, mobile helps meet the needs of learners with disabilities. There are 1 billion people in the world that live with some sort of a disability, 80% of whom live in lower and middle income countries, and mobile technology has enhanced their participation in society, and mobile operators play a vital role in meeting their needs. Turkcell, for example, supported Otsimo, a social enterprise that has developed a digital education platform for people with autism, serving 100,000 people in 168 countries. Mobile-based EdTech solutions, we have challenges and opportunities. This slide shows that the broadband infrastructure for it is improving. For example, 4G connections now account for more than 50% of mobile connections globally. And to reach 80% coverage for 4G, it only took 7 years compared to the same coverage for 3G, which took a full 10 years. And of course, still we have the rural urban divide, and we still have, unfortunately, the gender gap. And also we look at the average cost of internet-enabled devices. That has improved. So it fell from 44% of monthly income in 2018 to 34% in 2019. But still we have the handset affordability barrier, which probably needs a lot of government initiatives to put proper handsets in the hands of students and children, especially in the underprivileged segments of society. And this focuses on the major findings. We need to invest in trainings that urgently. We need to collaborate and do partnerships that are essentials for EdTech to be viable. And we need to have basic mobile channels and mass media to help scale solutions. And we need to remember that technology is not a replacement for schools. The best educational experience is in a school, in a safe school, socially distant school, where ventilation is happening, and governments need to focus on safely returning to schools, and at the same time, using EdTech to support an enhanced educational experience. This is my final slide. This is my email. I'm happy to share the slides and the report with you. And I thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jawad, for the enlightening presentation and explanation on the EdTech, and hope we will have more discussion during the panel on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, next I want to invite to the panel Deputy Chairman of Iraqi's Communications and Media Commission, Mr. Ahmad Walid Ahmad Al-Jamid.
Start now.
Thank you very much for your invitations and for this excellent meeting. Dear Excellencies and distinguished speakers, good afternoon for everybody, and thank you for this invitation. I'm represent Communication and Media Commission. As you know, is the authority responsible for regulate the Communication and Media Commission in Iraq according to the law 60 or to the order 65 for 2004. We're responsible for I want to give you a brief. We're responsible for regulate both the telecommunications and media in Iraq according to this law. With respect to, we already issued an initiative, DOME initiative in 2025. And with respect to this initiative goals to develop the communication and information technology sector in a way that contributes to economy growth and the achievement of sustainable development goals, with the aim of building capabilities and developing digital skills for students in various stages, and in a way that contributes to obtain new jobs opportunity in the field of digital technology, and increase the employment for the youth segment and encourage them to innovate and set up their own business. In addition to the development program that should be directed to people with special needs and different segments of youth and women in a remote and poor area, and those outside the classroom in order to raise their digital awareness and develop their digital capabilities. All these goals we are planning to deploy with respect to the universal service program in Iraq, which we already started to develop it develop it and deploy many projects in different areas in Iraq. Everybody now that it has become necessary to develop a general policy and strategy to develop digital skills in different education stage, institutes and universities to develop the scientific in line with modern digital technologies and to help graduates gain access to the world of innovation and entrepreneurship. In the field of the information and communication technology, which in turn will provide many job opportunity for these young people. And in the fact that developing digital skills, the same skill and unify all efforts in the relevant government institution. The Media Communication and Media Commission, there is many, or should there many entities participate to prepare this strategy. For example, the Communication and Media Commission, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Labor, the Ministry of Health, and the other ministries which is related to the education or digital issue. The private sector, international organization, and several society organization, starting from the setting policy and strategy to implementing program that it aims to achieve the goals and objectives. Therefore, and for the purpose of keeping pace with developments taking place and developing human capabilities in accordance with the best international practices. So, therefore, we are working now on set the strategy, digital, and for all this issue, and cause, as you know, the importance of digital sector, and according to the ITU reports, which is indicate that within the coming years there is millions of jobs will be available for digital skills for people who have digital skills. Therefore, it is very important for all the countries to set the strategy for the digital skills, and in that matter, we are working now with the related entities on this issue. Finally, we recommend to go ahead as soon as possible for all the entities to work on this necessary and essential issue in order to facilitate the transform to the digital world. And thank you for your listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed, for enlightening on the CMC's role and digital policy of Iraq. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Jassim Haji, the chairman of the Artificial Intelligence Society of Bahrain. Dr. Haji. We can see you, but the voice is... No, not clear. Maybe can you... Dr. Naimi?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to share with you in this session and to have this respected group of science and excellency and technicals. Actually, I'm coming from National Research Education Networks of UAE, where I am leading the National Research Education Network for UAE Ankabut. It is a network especially for education research, and it is covering the entire UAE with linking more than 80 plus campuses, higher education and K-12 in UAE and research centers, and where it is connected to the US via sea cable lines, to the internet too, and to Canary in Canadian and Japan, as well as to London to connect with Dante and Giant. And we are really willing soon to link to Asia via Singapore or any other stations. I asked for this 5 minutes to share with the team about the impact of the COVID-19. We in Ankabut, because we are specialized only for education and research networks and services in the clouds, we believe that the COVID-19 for the education tech is an opportunity. It's nothing challenge. Because we noticed that those who are rejecting, refusing, and denying the online education, cloud services, they are running for it and they are looking for it. So we found that the cloud is an opportunity now for those who want to avoid students, like our friends say, from saying around few millions out of the schools. So the cloud, I think, is the solution for that. And we are proud that before, when this era started of COVID-19, we collaborate with Huawei and we developed the latest software-defined data center in the region, where today we are, there is more than 150 to 200,000 students receiving their online education over our network and over our applications. So I believe we should all consider COVID-19 for the tech as an opportunity, especially those countries like UAE, the first country in the world having fiber access, where we reached with 99% fiber to the home and to the schools and to the universities. That's give UAE the lead in the availability of infrastructure and the ground. And why I'm saying that, because before I became CEO, National Education Research Network of UAE, I used to be the Senior Vice President Technology Strategy of Etisalat, UAE and worldwide. So I know how much fiber available. So I think the countries now, like what we heard from His Excellency in Pakistan before a few minutes, the infrastructures and readiness of the country infrastructure will play a big role in online education. Because you cannot do online education with very low, very slow latencies in internet and in the bandwidth to the house and to the premises and to the schools and to the network. We at Ankabut, we develop access more than 10 gig for universities, and we give big pipes for students from their home to support the online education. So I believe personally, the cloud will play a big role in coming days, because no one have a time even to develop data centers, either from cost point of view or from availability of the people to go and develop. So I request the panelists, before they start their panel, just to share with you this idea about us as Ankabut and about how we feel that the clouds and the network and structures of the country, as well as the networks, will solve a lot of problems we are facing today with online education, with distance education. Definitely the awareness of teachers, the know-how of the teachers, how to deliver the packages, and the readiness of the students to accept this online and learn how to do benefit more from this online education, either assessment or education and distance education or online educations. The beauty in UAE, it was ready even before COVID-19. We were testing a lot of scenarios, a lot of schools. That's why it doesn't take a long time for UAE to gear in on the online educations, either on the level of the government or in the private sector. So personally, I believe the cloud, as much it is strong, as much it is easy, user-friendly, available, high availability, it will help a lot in covering this gap of having online educations or distance education. Definitely, there is more concern in this online education, like the security, like so many things, behaviors. But believe me, today there is a technology to control all these. Even we reach to the level in analytic over AI for the student behavior online. So we know the student behavior even online, and we do analytic for the students' behavior. Again, they gave me 5 minutes to speak with you in this introduction. I enjoyed all the presentation from all the teams, from His Excellencies, from UNESCO, from everybody, and really, I hope, inshallah, I will learn more also from you in this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nomani, for shedding the light on Ankabut's role and also highlighting the importance of cloud for continuous education online. Thank you again. And we will have more discussion during the panel, inshallah. So back to Dr. Jassim Haji, and I want to apologize for the technical issue that happened earlier. So I hope now you have a better solution for the voice.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Okay, very good.
Okay, thank you. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to press my presentation, an introduction into 3 pieces. First, the education and the era of artificial intelligence. And then we talk about the talents that is required to do so, and then the success stories of Bahrain and its partnership. As you know, the pandemic, as you all started saying, has greatly affected many sectors, and it has fast-tracked the technology and digital transformation in several areas, but mostly in the education and health sector. Digital transformation and artificial intelligence were both key fast-tracking technologies that has proven that these are the future that will not be reverted in any ways. Will we still continue using the traditional online video communication as we do right now? We will continue doing the e-learning in the traditional ways. We beg to question that. Will we see future virtual educational center, schools and university? Probably so, in not many years from now. Will we see artificial intelligence and machine learning taking a big part of that? Will we also witness virtual and robotic teachers, where an individual students in the university, higher education, or in the elementary will be having a dedicated teacher, a virtual teacher, will use the big data for the students' background information and individual skills and learning based on their needs and requirements. Will we also see virtual counselors and special attention given to those disabled and needy students who are studying from home or distance rural areas? These are probably all in the plan, and not so long from now will be gone. The human factor will still be required. Those are the supervising factors, but there will be relief from many of those and given to the artificial intelligence. For instance, activities such as correcting curriculums or providing curriculums for the rest of the years. These are the algorithms that can be provided. Now, to do all those, you still need a special requirements for artificial intelligence building. And that is so much different than the normal digital transformation and automation that we are used to. The skills required are no longer only programming with certain Java or C++ or other requirements. You would require the skills in data science, data analysts who will try to manipulate and provide sense out of the structured and unstructured data, such as big data, which is the requirements and the oil of the future. You would require deep skills in mathematics and algorithms to build that. The bias that sometimes you hear of in the artificial intelligence or the future science are a result of probably unskilled algorithms, scientists or professionals, which need to be given deep attention. Now, those are skills that will be required, many of us, to pay an attention for the future generations. There is a great demand internationally on that, and there's a shortage of skills and talents in those areas. We in the Middle East also face those challenges. There is 74% growth year by year on the talents and educations for the artificial intelligence. We in Bahrain historically started in 1940s with the mini computers installed in our oil refineries. Then, of course, in 1960s and 70s, Bahrain was the hub for the telecommunication in the region. Moving to the first exhibition, as we are in the GITEX, it's worth mentioning that the first Middle Eastern exhibition in the technology was in Bahrain in the late 70s. Under the leadership of His Majesty and his directions on the digital economy and artificial intelligence, Bahrain has grown to given special attention to his human capital, which was always his strength, and it was something that we rely for our future and for our modernization. Developing a human capital with so many graduates also requires lots of interactions with others. This is what we have witnessed with our friends and partners, especially with Huawei, who have produced programs year on year for producing competitions, internships, and programs such as Seeds for the Future, where they grow and produce hundreds of young Bahraini men and women to become the future scientists of artificial intelligence. We have an eye in future to be a center of artificial intelligence research and development and machine learning and its associations for the Middle East. And this activities and the partnerships with Huawei that has been doing, and the social responsibility for the country and for its people, has been a great privilege for us. We're also looking at upgrading our systems to AIs in many sectors. In universities, there are systems seeking to provide AI labs with Huawei's assistance, and also in judiciary and in legislations, where are in the advanced stages of producing such advanced and caliber solutions. With that, I will give you a floor back, Mr. Moderator, and if there are questions, then we will handle them next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Haji, for enlightening on the role of the AI and the needed skills in the coming future. So we will have more discussions during the panel as well. So now, since Dr. Haji mentioned about the tradition that is changing, we have a new tradition now with the online meetings I would like to ask you please to open your cameras because we want to have a group photo together before we start our first panel.
Just a moment, please.
Yes. So now we will start our first panel. So I would like to invite Dr. Zantao, the UNESCO IITE Director, Engineer Muhammad bin Amour, Secretary General of AI CTO, Mr. Jawad Abbasi, Head of MENA GSMA, Mr. Ahmed Walid, the Deputy Chairman of Iraq CMC, Dr. Jassim Haji, Chairman of AI Society in Bahrain, Dr. Fahim Al-Nuaimi, CEO of Ankabut, and I want to introduce as well in this panel Dr. Abdul Mun'im Al-Hayani, Vice President at the King Abdulaziz University of Saudi, and Mr. Spacely, Vice President of Huawei Middle East. Please, dear panelists, dear guests, please unmute yourselves so we can start this panel discussion. So our panel is titled "The Talent Challenges and Solutions during COVID-19 under the Intelligent Society." So basically, we're talking about our world today has recognized the profound effect that technology has on community around us. So we believe it's our responsibility, all of us, to contribute to the development of tomorrow's ICT leaders. This COVID-19 crisis has forced every one of us to innovate and reimagine forms of education. So we believe in nurturing local ICT talents by working with international organizations, government authorities, colleges, universities, and this is the best cooperation strategy in order to identify and support the future leaders of the ICT sector during this pandemic and also post-pandemic. This is what we consider to be our corporate responsibility in Huawei. So contributing to the sustainable digital future of nations around the world. And this is why we have such a prestigious participant like yourselves here with us to discuss the challenges and the solutions of ICT talent development during this pandemic. So first of all, I want to address my first question to Dr. Zantao from UNESCO IITE. So Dr. Zantao, as the director of the Institute for the Information Technologies in Education at UNESCO, in which aspect will the COVID-19 influence the future of education? And what are the challenges foreseen by the UNESCO? And what role IITE will be taking from now on?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very interesting question. And you know, UNESCO and China just organized an important event called International Forum on AI and Futures Education. This is part of the issues we discuss today. So the COVID has been reshaping the education system so dramatically that we learn so much from it. And I believe that we are entering an time which is so exciting for education and for all of us who engage in education. So my understanding is that the most lessons learned from the pandemic is education will go digital, will go online, and maybe not within 1 or 2 years or even 5 years. So, but this is the future of education. However, the challenge is there, so that we need an integrated planning, strategy, and implementation at the practical level, so that we can integrate the high tech and the low tech to benefit everyone. So you ask about the challenges. I think the challenge is inclusion, how to cover everyone. Whenever we have advanced technology, new technology, we are so fascinating. Oh, with it we can change our education, teaching and learning. And then we are concerned about inclusion, and we worry about vulnerable groups. This is the challenge. And where is the solution? And how IITE is ready to contribute to this critical issue. I think there is no easy solution. The practical way, the way we need to take to deal with this issue, this challenge, is through working together to bring technical partners like Huawei and education policymakers and universities and the school educators to work together, so that we can find better solution, better than before, and then we go step by step. So I believe inclusion is the key challenge for the future of education, and innovation and the collaboration, they are the only way for us to move forward. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Dantau. Very clear. The inclusion is our big challenge. So I address my second question to Engineer Muhammad bin Amr. So as the Secretary General of AICTO, and your main mission is to develop ICT throughout the Arab region, how do you think online learning contributes to the success of the educational process? And what are the drawbacks? And do you believe that the e-learning could contribute in raising the scientific and knowledge level of students like the traditional learning?
Thank you for this very interesting questions. What I can say is that all speakers stressed and were okay that online education can provide a good answer, a good response to all barriers to education. This is because of the aspect of flexibility of online education and all barriers that can stop and prevent from education can be addressed through technology, and technology today is ready. So technology can have a good response to all these barriers. You know that the conventional education is addressed to one group by the same way, but for online education, for each student, we can have a special course, the time, how the period, where we have to stress on, where we have to make a repetition in order to give the student special courses according to his needs. So online education is a good response in order to contribute to the success of the process of education. But now some problems still on the table, and we have to address them. Even that the technology today is ready to have a good answers, but the problem is today the infrastructure. And what we have seen during COVID-19 crisis, even for those countries that was thinking that they are ready to provide online education, but when having this opportunity to provide courses online, they find many others problems that they have never thought about before. So it's very important to stress on how infrastructure is today ready in order to provide online education for students. And this is from one side. From another side also, I think that the digital content for online education is not in any cases ready, and there is a lot of efforts to do in this way. Do we believe that e-learning can contribute to rising scientific and knowledge? Yes, of course, because online education today gives the opportunity for all students throughout the world to have access to scientific research, to knowledge everywhere in the world. But the problem is still how is the connection and platforms are ready in order to allow these students to get in touch with this content. So I think that today online education can provide a lot of solutions. Many efforts should be done in order to make the infrastructure ready, and some problems rise during COVID-19. We need to address them. Online education, is it a substitute to traditional learning? I'm not sure for that. I think that it can have a good complement. It can give a good response for some barriers or problems, like for remote areas, for some people who have special needs. But today we need the conventional education, and online education can have solutions for some problems that are around conventional education. Those are my thoughts about your question, and I'm ready to maybe have more details after this round. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Mohammed bin Amour. And you mentioned that the main challenges are mainly infrastructure readiness and the availability of digital content. So from there, I want to transfer to Mr. Jawad Al-Abbasi from GSMA. So as the regional head of GSMA and having the responsibility of promoting the mobile industry's positive contribution to regional and national economical development, how do you think 5G and AI technologies would contribute to boost the quality of the education? Having Mr. Muhammad mentioning the issues of infrastructure availability. Yes, you're muted.
That's the most used phrase in 2020. You're on mute.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, the Arab world is a very diverse region, technologically and also income levels. So we have some countries that are in the least developed countries. We have low-income countries, middle-income countries, and vast markets. 5G is only in the Gulf region now in the Arab world. The rest of the countries, some markets still don't have 3G, don't have 4G, I mean. And that's why we need to look at a holistic approach. The trend of the industry is that 4G and 5G will continue to grow in tandem, whereas we will see in the coming few years switch off of 2G or 3G networks depending on the market circumstances, and operators will reform their spectrum to deploy more in 4G and 5G networks. The advantages of 5G networks is, of course, as we all know, much higher speeds, ultra high speeds, but also very low latency, which lends itself very well to gaming, very well to autonomous vehicles, and probably also virtual learning and so on. The point I would like to stress is that I think we're all in agreement that technology will help enhance the educational experience, but let's not kid ourselves that the sudden closure of schools in the world that happened, technology did not fully substitute it. It mitigated it to some extent, depending on the circumstances. And also, we saw the digital divide, and we saw the digital divide of the students. So students in well-off schools, students in advanced schools were able to have interactive online education with homework, with proper exams, and so on. But then in many countries, in many public schools, the online option was a one-way option. It wasn't interactive. People had to rely on satellite TV, or they had to rely on very small very small videos that were not interactive. In my country, Jordan, for example, the public schools relied on a platform called Darsak, non-interactive whatsoever, and even by the ministry's count, only 55% of government school students log on a daily basis to the online platform. So the urgency now is to go back safely to schools. Safely is the key word, and then learn from what's happened in this COVID-19 crisis to enhance e-learning, so that it's a stopgap measure if, God forbid, schools have to close again, and of course, increasingly rely on the online systems to complement the educational experience. For example, the online platforms that were done in many countries can still be used to administer extra homework to kids, or to after they go home to refresh their memory from what they heard in class and so on. So 5G, we have the commercial application of 5G. We will see some use cases that will be replicated across the region, but we still have a long way to go with so many different levels of technological advancement, if you will, in each of these markets. So the very diverse Arab world.
Thank you, Mr. Jawad. You are right. The keyword you mentioned is a long way that we need to go to bridge the digital divide. So from here, I go to Dr. Fahim Al-Nuaimi. So as a CEO of Ankabut, which offers the academic institutions connectivity to other educational networks around the world. So do you believe that the COVID-19 time is building a great e-learning experience at the educational system to focus on to continue e-learning even after the COVID-19 time is over?
Good, thank you very much. Yes, definitely COVID-19, it was opportunity and a challenge at the same time, and changed a lot of traditionals and legacy and radical thinking of educators, either on level of UAE or international level, or organizations like UNESCO or other entities who concern about education in the world and in the Arab world. But actually, I believe the challenge in coming days, it will not be technology. Either it is 5G, or it is cloud, or it is online education, will not be the technology. The challenge is that if we go back to school, so how the students, how the people will behave, faculties, are we will stay in the middle, or we will be hybrid systems. So I think those thinkers and educators and technologists has to think that when we go back to school, inshallah, soon, what will be the scenario? It will be fully online, it will be 50-50, it will be hybrid. So we have to prepare that technology. It will support these type of scenarios. And that's really to be serious, to be studied. I'll give you an example. And I am not expecting how my son, the last son I have is in grade 11 schools. He now used to wake up at a certain time, prepare in the different way for all full online education. Now, how I will be waking him up on January 1st when the government decide to go back to school fully and change his way of study, his way of thinking, his way of solving assignments, or of the way receiving the contents from the online to the face-to-face inside the classrooms. So, and I believe that we have to see now the new challenge, which it is finding a way or methods to teach online and on the campus. That's the first challenge. The second challenge, I believe it will be, we have to move for it, regulations. UNESCO and other entities who are caring about regulation. There is no regulation today. In the Arab world, for example, like Engineer Muhammad, he is taking lead for the Arab ICT. But it used to be even before COVID by 1 month. None of the Arab country, only a small part of them, accepting certificates online. Now, what will happen to the regulations of credentials of these certificates? How we will deal with it? That's also a challenge because until now there is no 100% technologies assure that the plagiarism and solving this exam is happening 100%. Like we have a joke here, there is 2 students, they're fighting, everyone saying, my mother is better than your mother. Because I get 90% and you get 70. So the technology is still not giving that controls and solving exams. So eventually we need to change the regulations and policy in the ministries of education and the higher education to meet this new era of change in the way we deliver the pedagogies and we are teaching. So I believe the 2 challenges is having a solution in technology can support the hybrid when we go back to schools. For example, I'm leading also one of the biggest K-12 schools, private in UAE. So I don't know how we'll do with finance when the students will come back to the school, because my finance will change. Today I can recruit anyone online, students, teachers from anywhere. Tomorrow I have to bring him in the schools where I cannot offer that. It will be very expensive. So technology has to be evolved in a way that help us to have that hybrid solution, which can collaborate with all data analytic assessments and online teaching for a hybrid model. And the ministries and higher education authorities and governments has to be from now ready for changing their radical traditional way of credentials and of certification credentials. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Noaimi. Indeed, we need to get ready for different scenarios of going back to school, and also we need to have the right regulations adapted to the new way of education. So for this takes me to asking this question to Mr. Ahmed Walid Al-Jamid from CMC Iraq. So in Iraq, how do you think the cutting edge technologies like the AI, 5G and cloud would reshape the education, and how to develop the needed talents for these technologies?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Unmute. Okay. Thank you very much for this very important questions. As my distinguished colleague Mr. Muhammad mentioned before, when we're talking about
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed.
Online. Hello? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you. We had a
Hello?
connection problem.
Okay. 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 I'm sorry about that. You know, just talking about that.
Mr. Ahmed. As you mentioned, the infrastructure need to be ready for online.
What about the infrastructures? Okay.
Okay. I think we have connection problem with Mr. Ahmed. So let me move ahead to Dr. Haji from Bahrain. So in your opinion, as the chairman of Bahrain's AI Society, what are the new advanced technologies that can remarkably contribute to the e-learning system and experiences?
Hello? Hello? It's okay now?
Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Haji. Yeah, Mr. Ahmad, is it better now, the connection?
Okay. Yeah. For me, I think it's good now. Okay. As we just mentioned, there is maybe essential requirement to when we're talking about the online education is to the redundancy or the availability of the infrastructure. Maybe during the COVID-19, we discovered the essential and the importance of the online education. When we're talking not just the education, it's maybe the other services, the other services and the other sectors. It's what the importance of the ICT to for the different sectors, the cutting of the school hours. So now it's important to prepare the infrastructure for the online educations. 4G, 5G, it's maybe for hello. Then suddenly I being unmute or mute. Maybe I'm not. Okay.
Okay. Now we can hear you. Not anymore. Okay, no problem. Sorry, apologies for that, Mr. Ahmad. I think what Mr. Ahmad wanted to say is that infrastructure is the baseline in Iraq and in all the countries for the education, for the online education. So from here I go to Dr. Haji. I will repeat the question again. So, in your opinion, what are the new advanced technologies that can remarkably contribute to the e-learning system and experience?
Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. The essentials under the AI and ML are inevitable.
Dr. Haji?
So we need a good infrastructure.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm actually in Dubai, so don't I'm not in Bahrain actually. So
okay.
You are in Huawei, Doctor, not in Dubai.
Hotels in Dubai and using the internal systems. Is my voice clear now?
Yeah, very clear. Please go ahead.
Great. Yeah, so, as I was speaking earlier, the e-learning, I believe, I did my master's in probably 89, 90, or beginning of 90s, and we were talking about video conferencing. But today, the e-learning in its old way is not going to be good enough. The AI and ML, the machine learning, are essential parts of the new educational systems.
Exactly.
And what do we mean by that? It all goes to the one-on-one education of students. For instance, the video for the face recognitions. The face recognitions is going to be an important element in future, where the students' reaction will be monitored by the face recognition cameras, whether the student is anxious, whether the student has understood the subject or not. These are the things that the reactions of the interactions between the teachers and the students will be advanced. The other things that we spoke about earlier is the data patterns. You know, whether today you will find that this teacher explaining to 30 pupils in the classrooms without understanding of their background and their capabilities. Now, with one-on-one recognitions, you will find AI will go to the data and will look at the patterns of the data of each student and how they have been behaving in the past few years, months, and how has their homework has been improved. You probably will find in future schools where by individual teaching, you'll find students who are talented may finish the curriculum in 10 years. And some, they may not take even 12 years, they may take 13 years. You do not have to wait for one type of students to do that. So all in all, these new technologies, for instance, edge technology, edge computing, I don't know if you heard about it or not, will be a transformation to the Internet of Things, where you will have devices connected to each other and cannot wait to go back to the, for instance, to the cloud and come back. The edge computings will be closer to the face recognitions, and this will help schools to process the data faster. And these are the predictions actually for 2021 and 22. You will have the quantum computers where the process will be much bigger. Of course, 5G will be elementary to all these communications. And this will bring me to the fact that the success story that we are undertaking with Huawei, where they train the teachers to be more modernized and exponential for the future technologies that are coming up. They're not only learning about their subjects, but they're learning about the technology, helping even students with the needs. For instance, they have donated so many routers to the students because that's elemental for them to communicate through the internet. And also for instance, the ICT labs in various universities. We have now hundreds of new projects in AI and new technologies with the advancement that most of the private and public sectors takes and transform them to actual innovations. And those students been probably transferred to those organizations, or they, with the aid of their supervisors, try to get those projects enhanced. And some of those projects must highlight here are the high level and the world class, those that are related to, for instance, the people with the needs. Those are very, very detailed and complicated. And using those newer technologies year by year with the aid of those labs that are provided by Huawei modernizes our society. Now I'm talking about Bahrain, of course, and GCC in its advancements. I cannot speak in the wider range of the Middle East because there are limitations and others, but we, I think, in the 6 countries in GCC are advancing rapidly, and we rely a lot on our human capital in Bahrain to be able to only interact with others.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor, for enlightening about the AI experience and the Bahrain experience. So now we heard from global organizations. Also, we heard from private sector and also from Huawei. Now it's time to hear from university. So I want to address my next question to Professor Abdul Munaim Al-Hayani from the King Abdulaziz University. So can you please share some experience on how to ensure the high quality of online education at King Abdulaziz?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you so much actually for everyone. I've been enjoying actually listening to those wonderful speakers with the wonderful comments and the wonderful explanations from the aspect of challenges and solution related to the pandemic of COVID-19. In fact, if I'm gonna explain our experience from the university point of view about what are the major lessons that we have learned out of this pandemic in regard to the quality of the online education, I'm gonna say or summarize actually those challenges maybe in one statement. The statement is we need to redefine the whole governance of the online education. Maybe actually we need to rewrite a new textbooks to redefine some of the terminology we're using currently, since, and I agree actually maybe with a lot of comments from those wonderful guest speakers related to the opportunities this kind of pandemic has been creating to us, that we learned and we have assessed our challenges thoroughly and in a comprehensive way, which changed our views to the online education in the past. And let me tell you frankly, we at King Abdulaziz University, we always believe, maybe since 10 years or so, that we are doing a wonderful job since we started the online education maybe more than 12 years ago or so, with a lot of programs being run comprehensively through online education and some hybrid education as well. But once this pandemic came and we assessed our readiness to move to the education, we found that we still have a lot of gaps that we have to fulfill if we want to achieve the outcomes of the university education. And let me give just quick 3 examples of what I want to actually say about the redefinition of the whole process. The governance first of all, actually, of the and the different KPIs of what we use actually to define the online education has been changed dramatically from that hard experience we went through. We discovered, for example, that it's not about the communication, the connectivity, the wonderful education learning system we had, and the wonderful friendly user kind of programs, blackboards we're using. It's rather than about the achievement of the outcomes. And how can we put a clear measures and the new KPIs to assess this kind of achievement in a wonderful way? The second point in relation to the concept of the redefinition of the whole quality of online education is the responsibilities we use in a traditional university online education, which either it's going to be like a hybrid or sometimes like e-learning for certain programs. We use to have a kind of a traditional responsibility for both staff, students, and whoever actually is managing the system. But now we discovered that they are not the only players to fulfill the outcomes. We need to involve some other players actually to be part of these responsibilities. We need to engage more educational designers to make those kind of materials meaningful to our student, put them actually into more engagement with the content of and the delivery actually of the programs we're delivering through the online education. The third point is the accountability. Always in the traditional online education, it is a very teacher-centered kind of education where a staff member is usually sending a material to their student and start discussing, lecturing, or sometimes communicating and asking. Now, I think with this pandemic, we learned if we're gonna achieve the educational outcomes, we need to engage our students more and more into the process of education. So the responsibility and the accountability should be more focused on the student themselves. So students should be sharing a huge portion of that accountability, and they have to know actually that they are a major part of any successful story, and they're responsible and accountable for the fulfillment of any kind of educational outcomes has to be delivered. So in summary, I think this pandemic, I'm quite sure, would actually create a lot of new textbook definitions, a publication about how should we look as an educator into the online education, and how could we utilize actually this tool to be more meaningful to our student, and most importantly, to fulfill the educational outcomes for the university education. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Hayani, for this valuable sharing from King Abdulaziz University. Finally, I want to close this panel by addressing Huawei Technologies. Mr. Space Lead, the Vice President, what are the strategies and actions that Huawei did and plans to do related to ICT talent development during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, okay, thank you, all the wonderful speakers. I really learning more, like Mr. Jawad said, Middle East is diversity, different country, different sectors has different of the responsibility to improving. We calling the innovation to the college and all the industry, because COVID-19 when to happen, Huawei major things we have for our technical team just guarantee the the online education. This is first priority. Then we need to guarantee the all the network could be stable. And in the other end, we are not stop the knowledge transfer. We start around in April, because we need to prepare some platform, and we launched in 10 countries for the Learn On platform. Until now, in this year, Huawei training the talent is more than 30K. Is 30% more than the last year. So which means that is the online education can bring more efficiency to give the right knowledge to right people, and people can collect it as they want if we building our platform. In the other end, I thinking the intelligent world is coming. It looks far from us, but it's very close. We cannot wait they coming to us. We should be walk towards it. I still remember 2 years ago, Mr. Fahim, the CEO of Ankabut. I still remember as the last panel, I remember you and Mr. Jawad, you together, right? So you speak at that time, you cite all the universities, they need a connection. Even inside of the UAE, you need to make the connection. We cannot let the data from one university go to European and another country, then come back to the university in UAE. And I think based on the last your introduction, you really give us a very good example. You did it and you make it. Congratulations. So I mean, we need all the sectors. We need towards for the future. The next one is that there's a big gap. The big gap between the university, the talent, and the now what we need. because 5G and AI and cloud is already start, especially in GCC. Till now, the GCC 5G subscribers already exceed 1 million. And Huawei and all the other vendors and some the players for the ICT industry, we already started to do many of the research on 5G enabled 2B service for business. For example, we together with Amarco, with ADNOC to talking about how to use 5G to empower gas and oil industry. And also in October, we signed an agreement with Sadaya to collaborate with artificial intelligence capability. And as Sadaya has previously estimated that the value of the country, the data and AI economy is will be around the $4 to $5 billion US. And this also can be bring, to saving the government the money or bring some additional the revenue. This will be maybe over US $10 billion. So which means that we need take this time to let our talent have the latest technology. This is the first one. Huawei already to start it in this year. We launched the Huawei artificial intelligence certification, and in this year, even during the COVID-19, there is more than 1,000 talent get the certification, have the basic and the expert level for artificial intelligence, the technology. The next one is that because the COVID-19 gave us a new eye, and this based on report from magazine, this side, during COVID-19, 8 weeks, they meet the 5 years needs to change the people's behavior, which means that people are familiarly learning online. This brings a very good opportunities for the talent to find some knowledge they interest, which can help the talents to have more knowledge than before. And from the like Huawei part, we really need more and more the scientist, engineer, even the high-level technician to join us, because for the future, the whole ecosystem will be blooming. Till now, Huawei have at least 700 mathematicians and more than 800 physicists and more than 120 chemists. So they are doing the basic the research. There's around 6,000 or 7,000. So totally we have more than 15,000 basic research scientists. So as this the expert, Huawei will be, we call it, we change from money to knowledge. Then we have around 60,000 for application-oriented talent. They will develop the products and turn the knowledge to the money. So this is the cycle. I think from like Huawei, we required is we really to need more talent in the region and in globally. But till now, we are thinking, we still to lack some of the, very professional the talent can master the latest technology. So we have the responsibility to help this region. We call it digital transformation for the society. We also to driving the knowledge transformation in the region. So this is what we have done. So based on this strategy, we make several the activity. For example, as the competition in this year, we also to making another track. We call it innovation track. We invite 12 university with Huawei Academy in this region. We selected, and we let the team to use Huawei full stack artificial intelligence Atlas series to use this one and to research some of the case. Which case can be have for agriculture, can be for protect the environment, can do the logistic, different things. So now this program is going on. The next one is that in the future, we are planning in next 3 years, we need to training 100,000 the talent in the region. Because if we have this ICT ecosystem, the talent was there. So people get the right technology, they will go to different of the areas. So all the vertical industry or agriculture is different the field they need. The people have the ICT technology, because this talent will help this vertical industry do the digital transformation, because they understand themselves, so they know how to improving. This is very important of the driving insight. So from our own mind is that from Huawei, we have to think we need all the industry sectors, government, we need together to make the Middle East, the ICT talent, like big forest, so which will be help all the vertical industry towards for the future, because in the future the competition is globally. So we ready to based on this the panel, I think we also get many of the great the opinion from speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spacely. Thank you for shedding the light on Huawei's commitment on ICT in the region. So due to the time limitation, so I will wrap up and close both panels at the end of the summit. So now I would like to invite Dr. Riyad Sakar, the Vice Chancellor of American University of Science and Technology in Lebanon, to give us his keynote speech.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everybody. It's actually a great pleasure to be present with you today at GITEX 2020 in Dubai, addressing leaders in education, innovation, and technology from all over the world. I want to thank the Dubai World Trade Center and Huawei for organizing this summit and for all the efforts and knowledge being put to enhance education and technology at all levels. One small virus sent the whole world on lockdown. Economy, travel and tourism, manufacturing, education, health institutions, governments were living in chaos. Decisions were changing daily, weekly, and monthly. What should we do if this pandemic continues with no possible solutions? Or what if a new crisis happens that might cause similar damage to various sectors in the future? Online education, online shopping, online work, online entertainment, online sports and workout, online medical consultations, online banking have emerged. But they are here to stay, even if the pandemic ceases to exist. However, it is now the duty of universities and tech companies to research and provide innovative solutions that can assure quality and guarantee the satisfaction of all stakeholders. In education, we were so lucky that we had fast internet, and we were so lucky that we had platforms for online meetings and advanced online tools such as Blackboard and Canvas. But we had to make quick decisions on how to finish the year, teaching online, exams or no exams, in-class assessment or comprehensive final exam, pass or no pass grading. Even governments had to decide whether to hold national exams or not and whether to pass or fail all students. Usually we base decisions on previous experiences. And if not available, then common sense guides us through. Each school or university followed a different system, and each teacher used a different system or methodology. Quality, accreditation, and ranking are the university's biggest concerns. Research, publication, and conferences are the university and the faculty members' biggest challenges. Meeting budgets and affordability are the university and students and their parents' main worry. We all use different platforms in education, but neither faculty nor students were properly trained on how to use these platforms to their fullest. Even lab courses and wet labs were a challenge to all educational institutions. There was no way to evaluate faculty performance or even student learning outcomes. Creativity and innovation for students came from classroom discussions, social meetings, between students themselves or students and faculty. With online classes, these social events stopped. How can research be performed when students are away from their labs and distant from their advisors? Great work was always done in labs after hours or weekends when there were no interruptions. Students lost their jobs, parents lost their jobs, lots of small shops closed, and big corporations laid off thousands of employees. How can students now afford to pay such a huge tuition cost? We are here at one of the biggest tech conferences in the world. I would like and hope to see that more solutions and research be put to address the concerns and challenges mentioned above. Hopefully in the future, 5G will help in finding some of these solutions, and maybe 6G, I don't know. 1 year ago, AUST signed an agreement with Huawei that led to the establishment of the first ICT AI Academy in Lebanon. Several trainings, workshops, and certifications were delivered to students. We at AUST are proud of such a collaboration, which also extended to multiple high-tech companies in the region. Universities should commit themselves to prepare students to be effective and responsible members in their communities, as well as in their chosen profession. We believe that active programs in research and innovation will prepare a new generation of scholars and educational leaders. Today's event sets a milestone in the collaboration between the Middle East and the rest of the world, as well as between the regional and international institutions that deal with education, innovation, and research. Once again, my best wishes for a successful summit, and please be sure that AUST is ready at all times to organize, host, and participate in academic and research conferences, especially ones that bring together such illustrious figures in their field. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Saif. Thank you very much for the insight and for shedding the light on the difficulties that impacted the students and all the society around during the COVID-19. Thank you. So now I want to invite the panel 2 session, the second panel of today. I want to invite the esteemed panelists, Dr. Arafat Al-Awajan, Chancellor of Muta University from Jordan, Dr. Khalid Al-Began, Chancellor of Kuwait KCST University, Dr. Suran Saeed, VP of Sulaimani Polytechnic University of Iraq, Dr. Saad Abu Qudais, VP of Al-Balqa Applied University of Jordan, Dr. Roger Ashar, Dean of Faculty of Engineering at the American University of Science and Technology in Lebanon, Professor Michelle Awajan, Chairperson, MTE Department at AUST Lebanon, and finally, Mr. Wu Lintao, Director of Educational Cooperation of Talent Ecosystem Development Department in Huawei. Thank you all for joining us. And our second panel is titled Pushing the Boundaries of Knowledge Acquisition and Explore Sustainable ICT Talent Development. So digital transformation must be driven by talented people. So this is the main focus for any transformation, and especially for digital transformation. The pandemic drove us to explore a more effective way of teaching and learning. Even we were not ready for it, or we were partially ready, but we had to do it, all of us. Hardware and software should be deployed, but more than that, the psychological preparation for both teachers and students also need to be considered. Quality assurance of education becomes more crucial to achieve talent development, like mentioned previously by Dr. Sakar from Lebanon, and also by from Saudi, the King Abdulaziz University, that quality assurance is a big issue now. Collaboration between the public and private sector is an essential component to build the ICT talent ecosystem. So these are the issues we are going to discuss during this panel. So I will allow me to start with Dr. Arafat Al-Awajan from Jordan, Chancellor of Mota University. So Dr. Arafat, during the pandemic and as the head of Mota University, how did you manage so far the operation of the university? What is the main challenge for online education that you faced? And what is your suggestion to move ahead? Dr. Arafat? Okay. Okay, let me proceed to the next question until Dr. Arafat is back with us. So my question to Dr. Khalid Al-Bigan from Kuwait College of Science and Technology. At KCST, how did you manage, similarly to my question before, to ensure that the online teaching reached the same impact and the same effect as the classroom teaching?
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Khalid.
Good afternoon. Well, thank you very much. My name is Khalid Al-Bigain. I'm just checking that.
Apologies for that.
No, that's all right. In English, it's difficult to read. So thank you. It's a very difficult question regarding how can online teaching reach the same level or same effectiveness as face-to-face. In my opinion, it can never reach the same. However, in some circumstances, it can work even better. So we need to understand that when talking about online, at the moment, we were all forced to go online. We had no choice. However, this no choice have given us opportunity to test. How does it work? How can this online world work in reality? So, in my opinion, in some situations, online can be appropriate, can be even providing better opportunity for a lot of disciplines. However, in others, it cannot work. It cannot work at all. So if we look at some disciplines like engineering and medicine, where hands-on experience cannot be replaced, in this case, we can have no choice but going back to traditional teaching as well as the on-campus person-to-person teaching. However, in some situations, I can say that online can provide a vehicle for delivering education to a higher level. But this has to have 4 factors, in my opinion, maybe more, but these are 4 that I consider as essential. The first one, and the most important one, is the maturity of the students and their level of motivation and integrity. one of the biggest problems that we find now, and mentioned by some of the colleagues in the previous panel, that when saying about my mother is getting more grades than your mother, is that the students were not prepared and they try to avoid. And we are facing this in a big way at the moment. How can we ensure that the students are there? How can we ensure that they are there as and engaged? So this is an essential component. The second part is about availability of high speed and reliable connectivity. And I think the previous panelists had spoken a lot about 5G, cloud technology. So there has to be a reliable connection so that the engagement is complete. The third part must be regarding an exciting and engaging content. Content that is based on participation and interaction rather than lecturing, as well as using the newest technologies to make it individual and personalized. Students should not feel that they are just a number behind the screen. And this is something that in person to person, the lecturer, the speaker can look into the face, into the eye of students, and by this, he can surely see who is engaged or not. So we need the technology to evolve to the level where, despite being behind the screen, you feel that you are part of the lesson and close to it. And most importantly, and again, it connects to what my colleagues said before regarding the assessment and quality control. We should have capability of conducting reliable and proper assessment. Without proper assessment, we cannot measure how the learning objective, how much the students have learned. And this again connects to the first point I said regarding the maturity and motivation of the students. It's not about getting a degree, but getting more than that. So here, again, I connect to one of the talks before where our colleagues were speaking about AI, artificial intelligence, that can help in maybe creating a more reliable environment for assessment. I believe what we did, and I connect again with our friends in Huawei, one of the key components of what we should teach in the future is the willingness of self-learning. Because if this is really what we get our students to do, whether it's online, whether it's face-to-face, or even beyond the university boundaries, this can be the best gift we can give to our students. Continuous self-learning based on what they learned in the university. And we are very proud that a lot of our students have been participating with Huawei in the Huawei ICT competitions and programs, and they have proven that they secured high rate of success. So we try to get that as a main vehicle for making the online as a successful platform, but we are keen to go back, to be honest, to face-to-face as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Al-Bikain, and sorry for the misspelling the name. So my next question is for Dr. Saad Abu Qudais from Al-Balqa Applied University, Jordan. Are you online?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. So
thank you. It's my pleasure.
Dr. Saad, how do you think the collaboration among universities and private sector like ICT vendors, how would it help to establish a stable alliance, and how to achieve that?
Yeah, okay, thanks a lot. Thank you. As a matter of fact, we at Al-Balqa Applied University transferred to distance learning since last March because of COVID pandemic. Fortunately, we partially were prepared for the distance learning by means of training of many of our faculty members on distance learning and e-learning in general. And we since 2017, we started offer some of our courses as using distance learning. However, we faced many problems, or let us call it weaknesses and threats, when we started fully transfer to distance learning. One of the main threats was the lack of experience of many of our students and faculty members in using distance learning. To resolve this issue, we started extensive training sessions for our students and our faculty members, how to prepare the e-materials, how to use the e-learning system. In the meanwhile, we prepared many manuals for using the e-learning for both the students and the instructors. Also, we rented cloud servers to serve the extensive use of the e-learning. When we consider the collaboration with other universities and the private sectors, we try to get the use of the experience of other universities in e-learning. In the meanwhile, we try to transfer our experience in this issue. When we consider the collaboration with the private sector, we have a good experience with many private sectors, especially with Huawei. We established the Huawei Academy at Al-Balqa Applied University, and I believe this is a success story of collaboration between the private sector and universities. We have right now the Huawei Academy for Artificial Intelligence and Computer Network that we use to train our students, and we consider this is a successful collaboration between Huawei and Al-Balqa Applied University. We right now we're working in improving our e-learning system by enabling our students and our instructor to do better in this issue. We believe we did a good job in the last few months, but we still we have many points we believe that we need to improve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Abu Qudais. Now I will go from Jordan to Iraq. Dr. Soran Saeed, the Vice President of Sulaimani Polytechnic University. Are you online?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My question, Dr. Soran. It's good to see that Iraqi universities are filling the learning gap by using e-learning to keep students updated with the technological development around the world. So, could you share some your experience on that level?
Yes, thank you very much. As you know, e-learning is no longer any option but have become a necessity for universities and other educational institutions around the world to adapt to the ongoing global pandemic, and especially during the repeated lockdown caused by COVID-19. So as our experience, our university, since we have an experience since 2012, from the beginning, we provide e-learning as a pilot for College of Informatics. Now, since 2019, last year, December, SPU started provide effective teaching method to our academic staff and students through running a pilot teaching and training online. Then we use it extended lockdown on spring 2020 to launch our massive online training to about more than 600 faculty staff and even for students. we run it both blended learning. We use it blended learning method for our graduate students, and synchronized method to our postgraduate, both. So we get benefit from a free applications like a Google and Zoom and other application online. We get benefit them. So I would like share other my experience about my project, because my specialty is AI. So I am very keen as well. All my students, their project is about AI, how to connect multidisciplinary between, for example, AI and engineering, and AI, for example, health. We use it. We are right now, we're running a lot of projects about AI in our university. So our university is very keen to collaborate with other universities in this matter as well. For Huawei as well, we have been also supporting our students to push in an innovation project involving the use of digital technology. For example, one of our students has been in the list of the top 3 students of Huawei ICT competition 2020. So we have a good collaboration with the Huawei, and even we established an academic institution, or an academic, we can say, institution with Huawei. About generally, as all my colleagues in the previous panel, they mentioned that the big problem right now, especially in the Middle East, majority different from country to other country, infrastructure, as you know, for technology is very important. Is that the first, we can say, issue, how to design the infrastructure of we have a problem with that, and majority in Iraq. Even internet connection as well is another issue, as you know. We need as well, beside that, we need to prepare ourselves to training our staff for this matter. In general, I do agree with the previous panelist, the Dr. Jassim was the chair of AI, and Dr. The CEO of Ankabut. They mentioned cloud and AI. Will be the next future to run online education system. So we need to promote AI. I do agree with the Huawei vice chairman, I think. So if they run during the last one, they run a lot of courses about AI. Thank you very much for the panelists. So this is my short speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saeed. Thank you for sharing this experience. I will address now the question to Dr. Roger Ashar, the Dean of Engineering at the American University of Science and Technology in Lebanon. Dr. Roger, as you know, during this period of pandemic for the past 10 to 12 months, people are under big stress. So it's not easy to teach for the teachers, for the professors, and also for the students to learn as normal. So psychological consulting for teachers and students is very important to maintain efficient teaching and learning. Can you give us some insight about your experience on that level?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sharara, for the introduction and for the question. First, I want to thank Huawei for organizing this summit and for the invitation. COVID-19 pandemic has overwhelmed all of us with so many challenges at all levels, especially in the educational field. Today, we have all means to overcome this pandemic. So I'll tell you my own experience, not only as the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, but also as an instructor. Switching from physical classes to online classes was something very difficult for me on a theoretical basis, especially that the decision was related suddenly to the pandemic. It took me some time to prepare all the material needed, and I was afraid that what I'm able to do in a physical class cannot be done online, as mentioned by one of your speakers. So for me as a professional, the task seems difficult. What can we say on the students' level? To be totally physically disconnected and virtually connected. This is a tough point. At first, as instructor, my concern was not finishing the material. My only concern was how to attract these students to have full concentration in front of a screen, for them to enjoy the lecture and to assimilate all what I'm explaining. So my first target and objective was my students. I was concerned about the amount of knowledge I will be able to transmit and the amount that might be assimilated by them. So after 2 semesters of complete online learning, and based on the feedback I got from students and the assessment done through quizzes, homework, projects, and exams, I concluded the following. What is so important in an online class is, first, the interaction in class, having discussions with students, letting them participate, taking their ideas into consideration, enhance group work and presentations, adding videos, links, notes, graphics, motivate them all, talking about a bright future despite all problems and concerns. So many ways. The very important point is to let the student be your target, not the material, not the exam, not the grade. If you do so, you can overcome all the psychological problems and your students will be relaxed and ready to work and achieve. This is what I reflect as a dean of the faculty to all instructors. It is important also to think about the opportunities that have these students after they graduate. What are the available jobs in the current situation? How to shift from traditional jobs to digital and online types of jobs. All these points have to be clarified and discussed. At second, support also has to be provided to faculty members through some incentives, as well as providing them with all what is needed to have successful online classes. As a conclusion, it's a tough exercise for everyone and at all levels. To be able to succeed, the loop has to be completed. All people involved in this loop have to work together. Once again, best wishes for a successful summit and hope that all of us will be able to overcome all the difficulties we are facing for the benefit of education. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashar, and thank you for highlighting the importance of focusing on the student instead of others. So in order to keep him motivated and overcome the current situation we are all in. Next, I want to also address from AUST, Professor Michel Awaijan. Professor, being directly in contact with students and but lost the physical contact, having only online and connecting to them via the screen. So do you think the network connection matters a lot in the daily e-learning experience? We were talking earlier about infrastructure. So what have you done to ensure the best connection, knowing that the situation is not always controllable from that side?
Thank you, Mr. Sharar, for this question. I can say that before any e-learning program can hope to succeed, it must have students who are able to access the online learning environment. And lack of access, whether due to economical or logistic reasons, will exclude eligible students from attending their courses. And this is very important for us as administrators to retain all the students that we currently have. Actually, at AUST, we have decreased the cost, the fees for the students to allow them to pay for their internet connections. Some of them, they pay a fixed amount per month. Some of them, they pay as they go. So we have decided to decrease the credit hour cost so that they can pay for this. And especially Lebanon is not only going through the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, but also a severe economic crisis. As far as internet accessibility is concerned, it is not universal. Many remote areas, they have poor connections or maybe no connections at all. So this poses a significant cost to the students where they have to pay for mobile internet and mobile connection. Now, on our part, on our end at AUST, we've been working for the past few years to ensure that our own network is up to date and our own connection is also state of the art. So we have installed fiber optic connections all over campus, and we have a high quality connection with very low latency. So the teachers can deliver their material, their lectures synchronously online through our Blackboard Collaborate platform. And also, we made sure that all our instructors record their sessions. So in case a student, due to some logistic reasons, cannot attend the class or the connection is poor, they can go and download the session later on, watch it on their own time, and then acquire the knowledge. Another thing that we did is basically we provide students with asynchronous work. So this work does not require live online sessions with the instructors, but basically they have the work they can do on their own whenever their connection is good. And this is due basically to the infrastructure we have in the country that the government should work on, so we have better connection and we mitigate these problems in the e-learning.
Thank you, Dr. Wajan, for sharing this experience with the students by reducing their maybe commercial burden to allow them to improve their connectivity, and also for other methods to solve this problem. Thank you very much. So last on this panel, I would like to ask Mr. Wu Lingto from Huawei Technology. What are the actions that Huawei did and plans to do for the online learning during and post the COVID-19 pandemic?
Thanks, Mohammed. Good afternoon and good evening from China. And firstly, I would like to thank all our partners that to have such a great performance for this year, especially for this difficult time. It's really a good result achievement from the Middle East, I would say. I still remember that Middle East is the one of the first region, particularly Iraq, to do a online signing ceremony. And also, I was very impressed about the BAU University that you have embedded the Huawei's ICT course into the curriculum and make that a global example for that. Really appreciate for that. Go back to the question that while Huawei has, we have started a flagship program called Learn On program since the pandemic starting from April. And this program has now covered more than 60 countries and reaches a global learner more than 8,000. And about like 10 of them is from Middle East, but also you could cover a great number, like 30,000 learners there. What we have done actually, well, because of that, so many learners activity on that, we do have some pressure to also to improve our platform, our Talent Online platform. We have recently have a major upgrade for that one. We call it 4.1 program that we try to optimize the efficiency to register, to open class, and to get more user friendly interfaces. We also have makes multiple teachers and educators forum during the pandemic so that teachers can share experience, in particular like this kind of scenario. So it's a very difficult time, but I think we have become even more stronger for the online platform, and also I will emphasize that the content part. Huawei we will support the ICT content, but we also rely a lot on the localization of the content. We have initiated, in several countries that to try to make some local language, particularly Arabic language of the local course. It's ongoing at the moment. So also talk about the future plan. Of course, we will continue to enhance our talent online system, particularly on the online lab functions, because the online education, one of the main short part is the online experience. We will try to to build more cloud-based the lab resources, and also we will call for the more cooperation for the local coursework development. That as I mentioned, based on top of the Huawei course, to either make a local scenario or just to make local language courses. We'll also try to encourage the developer to share, in our platform. Lastly, but not least, that is we also will focus much on the teachers' capacity building. We also will continue to to try to foster this teachers community. We have regular teachers forum. We try to keep. There's a Chinese saying that when everybody try to contribute, then it will make a more bright future. So that's all. Thank you very much, and I do hope the Middle East talent business can be even much more bright with the help of all our partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wu. Appreciate your sharing and hope our platform will get even stronger post-pandemic. So I want to thank both panelists on panel 1 and panel 2 for their great contribution and valuable discussion. It is very clear that COVID-19 has reshaped the education, and we have more on e-learning since there is immense potential for continuous growth and development of ICT talent across our region. During the two panels, we have discussed many topics, and we have many issues that were put on the table, like the infrastructure issue that need to be ready, the digital content that also need to be improved. Also, the difference in bridging the digital divide between different countries have different infrastructure situation, as well as within the same country between different regions. Also we have discussed about the need for making different scenarios for going back to classroom learning, and also the need for making regulations on how to assess and evaluate the e-learning platform. Also we have mentioned accountability issue, how to make the students more accountable for the engagement and the learning process. So to achieve all this and to reach some conclusion, a considerable support from all the international organizations that were present today, governments, universities, and ICT companies represented here in this meeting is required to ensure that youth will be brought up and exposed in accordance with the latest technology, so that they can pursue careers within the ICT sector and lead the future of their countries in line with the latest technology and ICT industry moves. Our esteemed guests have all agreed that in order to unlock the full potential of digitization and build the required ICT talent ecosystem, only a collaborative approach is required to address the ICT talent shortage first. We need a real collaboration that will involve public and private sector working together to empower ICT talents, to develop ICT knowledge, and to spark the imagination of our youth in the Middle East region. Ultimately, we must all work together to develop the ICT talent ecosystem that can bring digital to every person, home, and organization for a fully connected, intelligent world. This is Huawei's mission, and we will be honored if we can work with all of you to make it reality for everyone and every country. Thank you all. So next, I want to invite Mr. Spacely, Vice President of Middle East of Huawei Technology, to give us the closing keynote.
Okay. Your Excellencies, esteemed guests, good afternoon and good evening. It's really our pleasure to join you today and conclude the Igniting Innovation Through Education Summit 2020. And thanks all the partners like UNESCO, like GSMA, like the CMC, the MOE for the Pakistan, and also distinguished the Chancellor's President and the Vice President. This is our, great the conversation. We are thinking, education is the very foundation of innovation, especially within the ST sectors like Huawei. Without an understanding of the STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics expert, simply would not exist to driving the development of intelligent society, or at an even more basic level, to generate more sustainability, prosperity, and economic stability for communities, wherever they may be naturally. This makes education a core component of countries throughout the Middle East, achieving the ambitions of their nation development agendas. There is no time like the present for the educators to research their curriculums in order to provide students with the knowledge and understanding that will enable them to not only integrate it into an increasing digital world, but to contribute towards its continued development as well as to the growth of the digital economy. The talent requirements of tomorrow will be considered different compared to when I and many of us graduated from our education career. Digital fluency is a basic requirement of everyone wishing to participate in a society that empowered by connectivity. When today's students leave school and university, they will be immersed into a world that drives through 5G, AI, and cloud-enabled digital solutions. And they must have the relevant education and skills to navigate through whatever career path they choose for all industry. Because all industry will be transferred by introduction of the 5G, AI, and cloud technology. And the talent should have the power to join and power the digital transformation. As these events of 2020 have shown us, especially for pandemics, the education sector is more adaptable and flexible than any of us could have expected. This year has accelerated the digital transformation journey of all education institutes, proving that not only in change possible, but the students of all age have the digital literacy required to participate in online learning. If we consider people born in the 1990s to be digital natives, the children born in past decades must be digital inherent. And we believe that an ICT-centered education should be a basic right for them. The fact is that as our world becomes increasingly more connected, there is a requirement for more digital literacy. Yet there is a global shortage of ICT talent, particularly when you consider how many more jobs will require ICT experts in the next decade and beyond. The government throughout the Middle East have made considerable progress to address this by fostering talent development. However, as we have heard today, is not simply in the responsibility of public sectors to address this need. Sustainable development of the ICT ecosystem and of nations as a whole requires on partnerships between all involved parties, educators, technology developers, government entities. By working together, we can build a more inclusive digital society. Huawei remains committed to ICT education for all and the continues even through the COVID-19 to nurture young talent. Our annually ICT competition ongoing throughout the Middle East as another flagship CSR seeds for the future. Both of these provide opportunities for students exercise innovation and imagination. This all achieved through collaborative efforts with the public and private sectors. Till now, we have connected with more than 400 universities in the region. And during every year ICT competition, nearly all the ambassadors of each country to China will, together with their talent in Shenzhen, to celebrate the success. My serious hope is that we can continue to do this even more in 2021. I invite all of you to join us on our mission to strengthen the ICT ecosystem as we work to achieve the win-win success. At the end of the year, more ICT experts will enable us to bring digital to every person, home, organization for a fully connected, intelligent world. And now, in closing, I would like to thank all of speakers today for the fantastic insights they have shared into the future of ICT and education. We also appreciate all for joining us from across the region and around the world. This has been an exceptional summit, and I thank you all for attending. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Spacely. So this concludes our summit. I want to thank again all the participants for their valuable sharing and for the interesting discussions we had. And we hope this summit will be an annual summit. So hopefully in 2021, we will have the summit maybe face-to-face or partially face-to-face together with you. Thank you again, and have a good day.